Weather Channel founder takes down CNN host over climate change. Now, we understand that the criminal empire, they've been trying to convince us that there was global warming. And I wanted to take us back in time to what they've been saying, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to convince us that it's the people of Earth that are changing the climate on the planet. Now, it didn't start out this way. They were using global cooling. They switched to global warming. And they did this on purpose because their end game was to make you responsible and actually tax you. And eventually what they wanted to do, because they knew their system wouldn't last very long, was to bring all the countries to a same at the same level, because they needed to have all corporations' regulations at the same level, because they were trying to create this one world government. That was their objective. And to do this, they couldn't have the United States all the way up here and the other countries way down below. So to create these regulations and to place regulations on the United States, the UK, it would bring down those countries to the levels of the emerging market type of countries, where the regulations there, they wouldn't give them so many. This way they can produce more and bring their level up, and we would reach a level playing field. And what this would do was we would bring us to an equal playing field where people would then be making the same everywhere, no matter where you are, and they'd be able to move the workers around. This is what TPP was about. This is what this whole global warming thing's about. And if we go back in time, and I'll just briefly go over a couple of them, back in 1970, they told us we were going to be in an ice age by the year 2000. Well, 2000 passed and we were not in an ice age. And then they switched to global warming in 1989, because what we go through is different periods of cooling and warming. And they started to realize that the Earth was warming at this time because we were going through an active period of the sun, and the Earth was warming. So they said in 1989, global warming and rising sea levels will wipe entire nations off the map by 2000. So they have two different scenarios in 2000. We're going to be in an ice age, and we are going to have entire nations wiped off the map. Well, as we can see, none of these things happen. Then we fast forward to 2000, when they predicted all this, and they said snow will be a thing of the past now. We will not see snow anytime soon. And they said the Arctic is going to be ice-free in 2013. All of this has turned out to be fake. Yes, the Arctic still has ice, even though Google and other map systems, when you look at Google Earth, they don't like to show the snow on the Arctic. They just remove it. The Antarctica, they still have the snow. And what they did was they tried to convince everyone throughout time. And what is happening right now is the Earth is cooling. And CNN decided, you know something? Let's have the founder of the Weather Channel. Let's interview him on what is really happening. And I think they were shocked and surprised on what he had to say, because he does not agree with global warming whatsoever. And he just went off on them. And he starts out by saying that, listen, do not call me a denier. Just listen to the video right now.
I resent you calling me a denier. That is a word meant to put me down. I'm a skeptic about climate change, and I want to make it darn clear, Mr. Kenny's not a scientist. I am. He's the CEO of the Weather Channel now. I was the founder of the Weather Channel, not the co-founder.
And I'm glad you did, because I am addicted to the Weather Channel. I watch a lot of cable news.
Now, hold on just a minute. I'm not done.
And if you can see, he stops the CNN host. He says, listen, just a minute here. I'm the founder of the channel. I'm not a denier. I'm a skeptic. And you can see the CNN host, he's trying to, make nice with the Weather Channel founder, trying to, pacify him. But let's go a little bit further and see what they have to say.
And CNN has taken a very strong position on global warming that it is a consensus. Well, there is no consensus in science. Science isn't a vote. Science is about facts. And if you get
he says something very important here. He says that CNN took a position on global warming. He says they've taken a consensus. He says science is not about consensus. It's about facts. It's about real hard data that can be reproduced over and over to prove that, yes, this is valid. Let's continue with what he has to say here.
The hard, cold facts, there's no question about it. Climate change is not happening. There is no significant man-made global warming now. There hasn't been any in the past, and there's no reason to expect any in the future. There's a whole lot of baloney, and yes, it has become a big political point of the Democratic Party and part of their platform, and I regret it's become political instead of scientific, but the science is on my side.
I don't think we're going to
Now, he says that this whole climate warming, climate change, the global warming, has become political. And this is exactly what has happened. They're using science to convince the world, even though there's no real hard data behind it, they're using it as a cover to convince you that, listen, we have the numbers, we have the information, and there's no way you can object to this. Because they need something out there to convince you you're going to have to pay up later on. And he says, listen, the whole thing's a hoax. The facts are on my side. Let's listen further what he has to say here.
About the topic right here. What I do wonder, though, is when you see...
because you wouldn't allow it to happen on CNN. But I'm happy that I got on the air and got a chance to talk to your viewers. Hello, everybody. There is no global warming.
What I do wonder is when you see the government, when you see NASA, when you see other institutions say that 97% of climate scientists agree, do you think they're making it up? What I don't understand is how you square that.
Well, that's a manipulated figure, and let me explain it to you. The government...
So the CNN host was asking him, okay, listen, 97% of the scientists say that, yes, there is global warming, there is climate change. How possibly can this be? Now, he's going to break it down, and he's going to tell them exactly how this can be. Just listen.
Puts out about $2.5 billion directly for climate research every year. It only gives that money to scientists who will produce scientific results that support the global warming hypothesis of the Democrat Party position. So they don't have any choice. If you're going to get the money, you got to support their position. Therefore, 97% of the scientific reports published support global warming. Why? Because those are the ones the government pays for, and that's where the money is. It's real simple, but that doesn't mean it's right. That doesn't make it true. That only makes it bought and paid for. The money goes in circles.
I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to try to refute you on
that's
the facts.
The truth.
I'll simply say that the vast majority...
Please stand back from this issue and let the two sides be on the air. There are 31,000 scientists who have signed a petition that says it is not valid, that my position is correct, and we'll keep battling, and we will prevail in time.
Now, what's very interesting, he went on to say, hey, listen, these institutions, they give grants, the government gives grants to them, and they have to do what they say. Now, this explains throughout the period of time why they kept on changing their story, because to receive this, they have to continually do what those individuals who want this to happen. And this is why they changed the story. But in reality, like the Weather Channel founder said, there's 31,000 scientists who say, listen, they dispute what the others are saying. He says, why don't we get both sides to battle this issue? Now, they don't want to do this because they know they will lose. Because the real scientists who have the facts, who have the real data, they would be out there and they would produce the numbers. And then they would have to look at their numbers. And this is what is being manipulated. Just like unemployment, GDP, the rest of the statistics in the economy. They've been manipulating everything for so long, they have nothing to stand on. And this is what real climate scientists want to do. They want to take their fact numbers and continually reproduce their entire model. The institutions, the scientists that are paid for by the government, well, they have a certain agenda, and they know through science their numbers, what they have, will not stand up to the test. This is why you will never see them go in front of real scientists and say, let's see your data, let's put it to the test. They will never do this. And he is just calling them out on it, point blank, telling them it is completely fake, phony, and false. Now, you can hear more of all of this in the full report, which is on the X22 Report YouTube channel. And those reports are Monday through Friday, one on Sunday, and they're between 6 and 7 Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to listen to incredible interviews, you can go to the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel, where you can hear interviews with Cliff High, you can hear interviews with David Morgan, you can hear interviews with Michael Snyder, you can hear interviews with David Stockman, Jim Rickards. So head on over to the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel, and you can hear all the interviews there.